Oh,
Hello, how are you?
busy, tired.
Busy and tired, yeah. It's
Just came back. Hungry, tired.
oh
Yeah.
my god. Did you work
How
till
about you?
now?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
About worked successfully 12 hours.
12 hours. That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So this is your last lesson and then tomorrow back to work.
Pardon?
This is your
Yeah.
last thing for today and then you go back
No.
tomorrow.
After the class, I should continue to work.
Really? Oh, do
Yeah.
you sleep sometimes?
Recently, I'm too busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well then, let's get started. So the topic today, as you probably already saw, is English conversation, and we're just going to talk about different expressions that you can use in your everyday English to to communicate. So let's skip ahead to the second slide, and it's going to be the warm-up section. So tell me, how do you personally introduce yourself to someone?
Second one, I think it's very easy. Very easy.
It's very easy.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. I'm glad to meet you. It's very, just normal expressions when you meet for the first time.
Like what?
Nice to meet you.
So how would you, if I didn't know you and we ran into each other, how would you introduce yourself? If we're two teachers at a conference.
Conference?
Yeah, two teachers at like a teaching conference. We run into each other and then you introduce yourself to me. How would you say that?
So, okay, nice to meet you. I'm from which province, and my name is Word, and what's my work, what's my job, and so that's it. So we can just exchange the information and add a WeChat, so we can keep in touch. So yeah, just information sharing.
Okay, nice. And where were you born?
Where were born?
Yeah, where were you born?
Kulan.
Kulan, it's a city?
It's a province.
Oh, okay. You still live there?
No, I'm working in another province.
Okay. What province do you live now?
Guizhou.
Guizhou. Okay. Good. Yeah. Let's move on to the next slide then. Yeah, it's pretty basic, like the intro stuff, and especially for you.
I'm wondering. Sometimes you give me the slide of beginner. Sometimes you give me advanced. Sometimes you give me. It's pretty easy. So today you gave me the beginner, and today you gave me so many topics. But I had all the topics you mentioned today, just that we have talked about. So you don't have very systematic plan. So maybe take myself for example. You don't know which lesson I've had before, so it's very mixed. So you don't know. You should have a placement test. So someone who thinks how about his English level is, and so what topic he has been talked about. So I think it's very confused. It's not that logical and not that systematic.
Okay, yeah, the way it works, I just get a lesson assigned from Ryan, the guy who runs the company. So he just assigned a lesson to me with you, and it was a free talk lesson. So then, but because I knew you insisted on receiving some sort of material, then I went ahead and talked to you about what you would like to do. But yeah, you would book a lesson. When you book a lesson with Ryan, then you would decide on the topic or with him.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't want to talk about this particular topic, we can just have a free talk lesson if that's better for you.
Okay. Okay. So what do you want to talk about?
Maybe just take me through your average day. How do you what kind of responsibilities do you have? What kind of What time does it start?
Pardon? What time I started my job?
Your day, yeah. What time does it start? What do you do? Where do you have to go?
Recently, I'm pretty busy. Every day I get up very early to prepare the breakfast for my son. And then
early?
send her to school, and then I go drive to workplace. It takes me about 40 minutes if there is no traffic jam. Yeah, and generally I work from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. And there is a 1 hour nap, 1 hour break. Yeah. And then, I actually cannot end our work on time because we have a lot of work, so we should work longer. Yeah.
And how come there's so much work right now? Is it because of summer approaching, or what is it?
You don't know. Yeah. You can maybe you cannot understand how heavy pressure we're battling. Yeah, you don't. Everyone is living a very busy life. Yeah, actually.
And is it
you have a lot of tasks. Okay, when you're struggling for the task and a new task is coming.
Okay. And is it always like that, or is it like a seasonal thing where you sometimes you get to?
Like,
well, always.
Always like that. Yeah.
So you never get to go home at 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and how long have you been doing your job?
3 years.
3 years. And it's been.
I worked as a teacher. I worked as a teacher before.
Oh, as a teacher before, and now you said you work in like an education board of education, something like that.
Yeah. It's, Institute of Science and Education. Yeah.
Okay, and so what kind of responsibilities do you have? What do you have to do?
I told you before. Now I'm going to design papers. Yeah, and hold seminars. Yeah, and lectures. Yeah, things like that.
And did you prefer being a teacher over your current job?
Being a teacher is simpler. It's more simple, I think. Yes, give classes. That's it. But if you want to do my current job well, you will confront something new every day. I love new things. It's full of challenges. Yeah.
Your current job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So you see more and then listen.
Sorry, what's that?
You speak more, so tell me something about your job and your background, and so I can practice my listening.
Sure, yeah. So before I was a teacher, I used to work in the film industry, and I worked in the film industry for about 5 years, and I started out as an actor, and then did acting professionally. For about 2 years, with small parts, but it was like on film sets and stuff like that, and that was really cool. Like that was a really exciting job, but it wasn't very stable. So sometimes you'd get a lot of work, and sometimes you wouldn't. So I didn't like it as a career choice because you couldn't rely on anything. And so then after that, I got into like behind the camera kind of work. So I was a production assistant. So I was just helping out on set, working on, just like assisting people, other departments, and doing all that kind of stuff. And that was more frequent work, but, like 16-hour days. Like every day, 16 hours. And you go to sleep for 5 hours, you go back to work. And yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. But, and it was outside always. So I was working outside. It was raining, snowing, it was always outside, So yeah, it was intense. And then later I got into the last year before I moved to Vietnam. I worked as a set decorator. So a set decorator. So we would go.
Set?
Yeah, set like film set.
Set. SET.
SET, yeah, film set.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's where they film the stuff. They film the scenes, you know. So we would go in before the camera showed up, before the whole crew showed up. We came in a day before and we decorated everything, made it look the way the director wanted it to look like. And that was a lot of fun, and it was only 12-hour days, so it was short. It was comparatively short, and I really liked that job. But then, yeah, I just kind of got bored of routine and just doing the same thing over and over. So I decided to leave Canada and come here. And now I've been in Vietnam for 2.5 months now.
But you said that you won't stay here for a long time, right?
Yes, I'm going to Europe to my family in at the end of May.
So you're going to try to find another job?
No, I want to continue teaching. I want to continue teaching online as well as find work in Austria, in Vienna. That's where my mom lives. And
your mom lives in Italy?
In Vienna, yeah, in Austria.
Oh.
Yeah. So I want to find work there, and I have a lot of friends there, and so I don't want to, like be away again for 6 years. Like I was just away for 6 years, so it's been a long time since I've been home. And but I want to continue teaching English, and then do that career.
So how about in your country? It's very hard for the young people to afford a house.
Yeah, and so in Canada, in Vancouver, especially in Vancouver, it's impossible. If you want to buy a house, it's impossible. The work. No, I'm just. It's so the ugliest house in the worst district that you can't even live in. Just for the land, you have to pay $1 million. It's not no exaggeration. There's nothing below $1 million. So and as a young professional, you cannot make that money. You can get a loan, but then you pay. That's all you just pay. You just pay money. So yeah, people don't own. People don't even live in apartments. They just live. They have roommates. They've always lived 3, 4, or 5 people together. They can afford to live. But yeah,
actually, the young people are under very heavy pressure, right?
Yeah.
So how about the salary standard?
The salary?
Yeah, standard. Yeah, you get a weekly. You get a weekly income, right? So how about the weekly income?
So the minimum wage is now I think $12.50 an hour, $12.50. So I think if you work, you get paid every 2 weeks, and so you get like $700 per 2 weeks, and so for
$600 per week.
Every 2 weeks. So
let me calculate. Let me calculate. That is 1,200, right?
1,200. Yeah, Canadian dollars.
So that is equal to more than 8,000 RMB.
Mhm.
Just for the rent.
No, that's for the earnings. That's earnings. That's how much you make. Yeah.
So, it's easy for the young graduate to find a job?
I'm not sure actually. I don't know. I worked in film, and the film business it's like if you know somebody, then you just call them and you say, hey, I can work, and then you just get in. So there's no interview, there's no CV, no nothing. And so I've worked in this industry for 5 years, so I don't know what it's like for graduates that are looking for an office job, or
I mean the unemployment rate.
I don't know. I can Google it. I'm not sure what the unemployment rate is, but the only, like, BC, British Columbia, that's the only province in Canada that's so freakishly expensive. And I think it's because there's a lot of foreigners coming because it's really beautiful. The province, the nature is really really beautiful.
But let me tell you, one of my friend's son is studying in Canada. Okay, just in Moon. Okay, the place that people speak two languages. One is English and the other is French.
Montreal.
So, Montreal, right?
Montreal, yeah.
Montreal, and he studies there, and actually he comparing with students who study in the U.S. and in England, I think he spends much less money.
Montreal is cheap if you compare it to London or Vancouver or like a big U.S. city, because I wanted to move there. I wanted to move to Montreal because it's firstly it's there's two languages, so I would learn French, and that was exciting for me. And secondly, the money, like you would pay a lot less money to live there. Even in the city center with a beautiful architecture, you pay way less. Yeah. So I think it's BC. BC is very very expensive, and so the
BC. What's the abbreviation of BC? BC is abbreviation for what?
It's a province in Canada called British Columbia.
Okay, British Columbia is a province.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big one or small one?
Very big, yeah. All the provinces are very big.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the most western one. Most western. Yeah. Just the border is more or less the Rocky Mountains, and then everything west of the Rocky Mountains is British Columbia. Yeah.
So in the consumption level in BC is very high, right?
Consumption level?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
You told me that BC. You mean that what's special? What is special in BC?
Special, like why people go there, right?
Yeah, you mean very just famous for traveling.
Yeah, it is, and it's beautiful. It's breathtaking. Like you go there, you go to Vancouver, and there's mountains, and there's the water, and it's just a really, really beautiful, like naturally beautiful place. And I think that's the reason why it's so expensive, because I don't know, the city itself, if it wasn't so situated in such a beautiful natural surrounding, it's not that good. Like it's just a normal city, but because of the surroundings, it's very expensive, and a lot of Chinese expats, a lot. There's a lot of there's like whole parts of like Greater Vancouver that you have only Chinese restaurants, Chinese signs, Chinese businesses, everything. Yeah, so there's a lot of big Asian community for sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you are living in Vancouver.
I was, yeah.
Oh, okay. So when you go back to Canada, you're continuing to be a teacher just online to teach foreigners English, or just that you go to physical schools?
I don't want to go back. I didn't grow up there, so it doesn't have like an emotional connection with me, or like I don't have an emotional connection with the place. The only reason why I would go back is because my dad lives there. My dad and his wife, they live in Vancouver, so I would want to visit him, but not for living. I wouldn't go back to live there. Yeah, I'm closer with my mom's side of my family, and they're all in Europe. All of them are in Europe.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So last time you told me you have been to many countries, right? So which your favorite country and why?
Oh, my favorite country. I think Spain. I think it's Spain. But
Can you speak Spanish?
No, I had it 5 years in school. When I was in high school, we had it for 5 years. So I kind of, if I went there, I spent some time there, I'd be able to refresh it. And it's on my list. I want to learn it. But yeah, Spain is just, it's warm. It's still in Europe, so it's close to everything. The food, architecture, like the nature, the language. It's fascinating to me. That's why.
Okay,
Yeah.
when you are introducing Spain to me, just you're always with a smile. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
Yeah, you can tell.
you
You
can
can tell.
you can try to yeah. Can I ask you a question? That is, if you are from Europe, right? So if you want to live in Spain forever, you want to get a special visa, right?
Yeah, because of the European Union, we can. I have a Polish passport and a Canadian passport, but yeah, with the Polish passport, I can stay anywhere in the European Union, unlimited, and I can work there.
Oh, you have got a Polish visa and Canadian.
Yeah.
Why you got two visa?
So
Visas?
I was born in Poland, and my mom is Polish, my dad is Canadian, and so I was born in Poland as as a Polish kid, so I had a Polish passport, and then my dad, because he's Canadian, he gave me. And back then you were able to have dual citizenship. Now you can't anymore. But back then in the 90s, you were able to have two or three citizenships, and there was no problem. So they just like decided to give me a Canadian passport, and then later on I decided to go to Canada, so it was a good idea.
You can just because you have got Polish visa and Canadian visa, so you can live in Spain forever, just as you like.
I think I'm not sure exactly, but that's what I think. Like, because all the if you're a member state of the European Union, which Poland is and Spain is, I think you'd be able to live and work freely. You can move freely across the countries. Yeah.
When I was in the UK, my host family's son's girlfriend comes from Spain.
Hmm.
Okay, I heard that the unemployment rate in Spain they're very terrible, and
Hmm.
a lot of people could not find a job there.
Yes, that's what I heard. Yeah, it's really bad. I think youth
Yeah,
unemployment.
the economy situation is terrible.
Yeah, yeah. I think the youth unemployment is at like 30% for youth, like seeking jobs. And but the general population is also very high. So I just looked up Canada unemployment rate. It's 6.3%. So it's good. It's not bad. Most people are
So,
working.
another question that I want to ask you that is, how about the birth rate?
Of
So
Canada.
yeah. In China, okay, the government cancelled the one-child policy, but
Hmm.
still a lot of young people, a lot of couples don't want to give birth to a second baby because uh, the the consumption, to raising a child takes too much energy and money, so they
Uh-huh.
don't want to give themselves too much pressure. So they don't want to give birth to another baby. Some of them even don't want to have any babies.
Oh, yeah,
So
okay.
how about in your country?
So you're saying the population is going down, or
So
the
yeah, how about the population going up or going down?
I know that the population is aging, so there's more and more. How do I say that? So Canada is one. I just looked it up on the internet. Canada is 1.6 births per woman in the country. But yeah, I know Europe, the whole continent. There aren't as many births as there used to be, so it's decreasing. So there's less and less babies born. So it's like China, I think.
So
Yeah.
in Japan, yeah, the population is going down. So aging is a very serious problem.
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, so what is retirement age in your country, in your area?
65, I think.
So can you get a large amount of pension after retirement?
Um, I don't
Is
know.
your pension enough to support your life?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure actually, but it's so far for me that I haven't I haven't looked into it. But people, from what I hear, people always complain. They say no, it's not enough. But I feel like in countries like Canada and Austria, I'm sure it's enough. It's good enough. Those are like socialist countries. They have
No.
very good system.
So suppose you get married, you give birth to a baby, right? So you don't have to pay any education fee for your child, right?
Not in Austria, no.
How
Austrian.
about you have to pay or don't have to pay?
No, Austria education is free. Even university is free.
How about Canada?
Canada, public schools, they're all free, public high school, and then university you have to pay, but it's not a lot. It's not. I mean, it is way more because it's more than in Europe, but it's not like America where you finish university and you have $50,000 in debt. So yeah, Canada is you have to pay for university. How about China? Do you have to pay?
Yeah, for the first 9 years you have to pay. If you study a public school, you don't have to pay, but the fee for the kindergarten is expensive. If you want to go to a private one, yeah, it takes a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And for high school, senior high school, you have to pay, and many children have to take extra classes, yeah, on weekends. So the parents also have to pay, and the university, yeah, if you want to study in university, you have to pay also.
Mm-hmm.
So the education fee is takes up a large portion of or whole family's income. Taking myself for example, I have 2 kids, right, and my old son is 8 years old. He's studying at private school, and I have to pay more than $5,000 for his fee.
Per
That
year.
is just for the school, yeah. And then I have to pay his money how to play the piano, how to play taekwondo, how to practice English, blah blah extra. Okay, so I have to pay a lot of other extra money, another $6,000, and I have to buy insurance for him. I have to buy food and buy clothes for him. So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot. Yeah. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
it.
So you work.
Yeah,
That's why you work so much.
Yeah, and my second child also. Yeah, he's growing up. You have to prepare. So that's why we're under very heavy pressure. So I have to work hard to support the family.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. My mom, like the way I grew up, my dad wasn't very involved. He was in Canada, and my mom, she just raised me by herself. So, but it was only me. It was only one guy. You have 2. So yeah.
I'm proud of myself.
You should be, as you should, definitely. Okay, well, this is half an hour already.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice talk with you.
Yeah, nice talk with you as well. I don't know if you want to do another lesson, but what would you like to talk about? Because I feel bad for not, I felt like I didn't maybe meet your expectations for at least the beginning
It's
of the
okay.
lesson.
Just not because of your fault. Just your team. You don't have a very systematic teaching plan for a certain student.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. And okay, don't worry if I like talking with you, and if you have classes, we can have free talk. I think any talk is okay.
Okay.
Just we don't have Just
okay.
I think it's okay. Yeah, no problem. Just they say something that's you can express yourself very well, and I can also understand very well, and we can have communication. That's it. That's enough.
Okay. I'll look up some. Maybe we can talk about some current events or something like that. That's more where we can expand our views. Maybe something in history. You can teach me something.
Just to broaden my eyesight to refresh my mind.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.